Hey, what's going on, guys? Fizz here once again with the second update for the RF Inquisitor. I'm gonna plug at the beginning of this video. Check out my Twitch. It's links are down in the description below. I stream every single day. Twitter and Discord as well. I need to be better about like plugging all my socials and stuff like that. So forgive the shill at the beginning of the video, but I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that. Also, sub bell notification icon thing. I need to remember to do that as well. Don't let me forget, okay? Anyway, character's level 99 now. I've been going pretty casual on the character. I've started leveling up some other stuff on the side. I actually, I attempted my first Uber the other day, and it tilted me so hard that I just started leveling a new character immediately. It was Uber Maven, and you know, after you kill Maven and the brain comes in and does the expanding bubble and explodes, and then you have to go in and then you like fight the ads. On my second one, on the phase 2, I think it was phase 2 of Uber Maven. I can't remember if it was the second or third phase, but it was one of the two. The brain didn't go into the middle. The bubble didn't happen. I ran onto the outside platform, nothing happened, and then there was no explosion or anything. And then when I walked back in afterwards, the brain was on the outside of the arena still, twirling around beams in random directions, and it bricked my Uber Maven, and I was like malding super hard. There is a clip of it. Maybe it shows up on GFL because I submitted that because I've never seen that bug ever with Maven. That was crazy. Anyway, character's level 99. We'll go ahead and we'll do a T16 atoll. This is just in my inventory, so I'm throwing it in. I'm just gonna run through this. You guys don't need it. So right now I'm using efficacy instead of ink AoE. Typically what my like go-to has been is just throwing in whatever I don't have. Like in terms of like the map layout, like if the map layout is like open, like dunes or something, then I'm using ink AoE. But if it's like a corridor-esque map, like Atoll, like Crystal Ore, like even Villa, something like that, then I just use efficacy because it helps me, you know, it's more damage and it kills stuff faster, especially when you're running maps with like 50% more monster life, LE, you know, 40% LE res, and then also zapping stuff with your Sentinel. It makes stuff really tanky, really thick. So having the extra damage is nice, especially now that I've moved to a different setup on some of my damage. So I don't have life tap on everything, which means my RF is missing a 21% more damage multiplier most of the time while I'm shield charging around. Yeah, you'll notice Armor again and Brandon there. I finally gave up. It was actually after Uber Maven that I was like, okay, I need to bite the bullet and actually do the Armor Brand setup that the Trade League boys are doing for this build. I was not willing to get rid of shield charge though, because a lot of them drop shield charge. I'm not willing to do that. But as you can see, you just kind of like walk through everything. It's, you know, it's what you would expect. I'll tank this. Yeah, HP doesn't really move. No damage mods or anything on this map. Just kind of, you know, what you would expect from like this level of investment and, you know, being level 99 and having a bunch of stuff crafted. I still don't have a +1, and there's some cool stuff I can do when the +1 to all spells on the scepter, I guess I should say instead. I just woke up, so a little bit scatterbrained. But there's some cool stuff I could do. It's good enough. If I got the +2 total scepter, which is basically this, but +2 instead of +1, I could fit endurance charges into the build, but currently I can't do that. I would need to get a level 21 Purity of Ice, and then the +1 to all spells from the scepter would allow me to drop the +1 to max res on the chest, and I'd be able to run endurance charge gain. And then I've already got a lot of my jewels rolled for duration. Anyway, so there's been some changes to the passive tree. There's been gear changes, all sorts of stuff. So in the first video, I can't remember what level my guy was, like maybe 95 or 96. I finally got a shield. It's a pretty good shield. This is a ROG shield. So I got tier 1 life, tier 3 evasion and ES. I bench crafted on flat armor. And then for suffixes, we got +3 max cold, +2 max all, and then tier 3 lightning res. Still no Aegis, sadly. It's looking like we may hit 100 without dropping it. I will say, Uber Maven was a very rude awakening for me. I don't think this character is capable of killing Ubers without Aegis. Because you don't get spell sup capped, even running a triple LE flask setup with the Mage Blood of Ruby, Topaz, and Sapphire, I was getting chunked ridiculously hard. So you would either need spell sup cap or you would need Aegis, one or the other. But the thing is like spell sup cap is like near impossible to get with this setup because you run an Elder helmet, so you can't get anything from your helmet. You can't get anything from your boots because you're using a unique. And then for your shield, it's really hard. It's not impossible, but it would be ridiculously hard to get a high spell sup roll with your 5 max res as well. So like capping spell sup isn't really an option on this build because like the most I could do is get spell sup on these gloves, which would be really hard to do considering I need the res from melding. But even with all that, running the quartz flask, I'm only at 54%, and there's, you know, I can get like 19% on gloves. So, you know, there's not really a way to cap spell sup, which means Aegis is kind of the only way to go. And yeah, it really surprised me how much damage I was taking. It was doable. Like if the Maven didn't bug out and brick, it was definitely doable. But, I was expecting Maven to be the easiest out of all of them, especially given like she is the most RF friendly, I would say, out of all the bosses. Because if you look at all the other bosses, there's like no time for you to ever realistically sit on the boss. So like this build in general, basically you'd be losing like 1/3 of your damage all the time on all bosses, all the Uber bosses, because you'd have no uptime on RF. You're just throwing fire trap around the arena, so you get no RF damage at all. And then on Cirrus, you'd be losing 2/3 of your damage because you can't run RF on that fight, very likely with the G-Gem puddles. So I was expecting Ubers to be incredibly hard on this build, and some of them to be basically impossible, at least in HCSSF. But it's been even more difficult than I was expecting. So that's that, I guess. I mean, maybe, like I said, maybe I hit 100 and just run the character down anyway or whatever. I've been debating doing the Merry Fizmus private league early this league to just to get a fresh reset in, and then doing all my build diaries in the private league instead. I don't know. You guys let me know what your thoughts are on that. Anyway, so I got the shield crafted up. I replaced some rings, and basically on my rings, I went for double Elrion craft. I also dropped the bench crafted life on my amulet, which I felt fine doing. It was only, you know, 50 bench crafted life. And as you can see, I still have like a little bit over 8.2k raw life without it. So I felt fine dropping it, and I put Elrion craft there as well. And what that has allowed me to do is drop all my life tap setups, which obviously saves me a bunch of sockets. So now in my shield, I have faster attack, shield charge, and flame dash. In my boots, I have a level 1 armor brand that's important, linked with combustion, flammability, and hex touch. Basically, this will apply our curse in an AoE like we were doing before manually, but it also gives me combustion, which is more single target damage, since it will lower their fire resistance as well. This also, the Armageddon brand procking makes it easier to proc and more consistent to proc wrapped in flame, which is, you know, the cover and ash on hit. In my gloves, I'm just running Purity of Ice, Defiant Spanner, Malevolence, and Determination. If you guys are wondering why Purity of Ice, well, for melding setups, it's optimal to run Purity of Ice, even though technically fire is easier because with Barbarism, you get 1 extra max fire res. Purity of Ice is better because Exarch puts a debuff on you that reduces your max fire res. And if you're running a Purity of Ice setup or a cold max res setup or a lightning res setup, it doesn't do that. So if I stand on the tiles in the Exarch fight and it lowers my max fire res, my fire res doesn't actually go down at all, because it stays equivalent to my cold res. Like that rule overrides the debuff. Now, if I had been using a fire setup for the melding, a fire max res setup, then as I got hit by that debuff, it would lower all my resistances. So that's why you'll see like me and a lot of people like on ladder, especially in hardcore, running like max cold setups instead of max fire setups, even though max fire is technically easier to get going. Yeah, other than that, chest piece, I think, oh yeah, this is different too. So the chest piece has changed. Basically, it's just a better base. It gives me armor, evasion. It's got some res on it. It's got some flat life regen on it, and that's pretty much all that's there. I'm running determination R effect and +1 max res on the implicits. On the glove implicit, I'm running +1 to max cold res and fire exposure on hit, and then I don't get implicits anywhere else. And my anoint has changed from charisma to arsonist. Now, why might that be? Well, I actually have been farming, I mean, as I'm sure you could see in the corner up here, I've been farming Maven ad nauseum. I still have no woke gems beneficial to the build. As you can see here, I've got a ton of them, and this isn't even all of them. I've dropped a ton of woke gems. I've been farming Maven ad nauseum. Like, if I even started doing like Maven 10 ways because I wasn't sustaining invites, if I'd been running like Eater or Exarch influence on all my maps by now, I'd be halfway through level 99. Like literally, I have ran hundreds and hundreds of maps with Maven influence. And basically, when you're running Maven influence versus like Eater or Exarch, you're basically getting like half or less of the monsters in every map than you would be if you were running a different influence. So I've been like majorly sacrificing like XP per hour and technically in some ways chance to drop in Aegis from less monsters killed an hour. By, you know, going for Maven, just like Maven farming. That's what I've been doing on this character for like literally since the last video. I've just been farming Maven like all day, every day. Just been doing tons of bossing. No good woke gems, sadly, which is why I'm still swapping between efficacy and ink AoE. However, my last Maven did give me something really juicy. I got an Impossible Escape, which is one of the new uniques introduced with this patch from Steel Mage. And you guys may notice that it rolled Supreme Ego. Now, where is Supreme Ego? Oh, it turns out Supreme Ego is right here by Charisma. So I got to take Charisma for 1 jewel socket and 1 passive point. I get Charisma for almost free, which is really cool because that opens up my Amulet Anoint, because previously I had Charisma Anointed, and instead I get to allocate Arsonist with the Anoint, which is a bunch of dot multi and life regen. So that's really, really cool that I got it for basically free. So all the Maven farming has paid off a little bit. It's given me basically some extra damage and some extra regen. So that's really cool. People in my Twitch chat were like looking in trade and stuff, and people were saying like there weren't like any listed on trade, and there were only a few people who even had this specific role on an Impossible Escape across like all leagues. So it's pretty rare. This is like a pretty crazy RNG drop, I think, but very, very beneficial. Other than that, I've dropped a little bit of life on the tree to just grab more damage. The character's DPS numbers are getting quite high at this point, but you know, the character is basically done. I mean, I can kill Cirrus very, very quickly. It's like a, I don't know, like a 3-minute fight. Like, I'm like spitballing here. This is like my headcanon. I didn't time it, but I did kill one off stream a little bit ago to get like a gauge of my damage. And then like Maven fights are like 5 minutes, like, you know, gigadam. Just, you know, playing a dot build with high uptime with, you know, a few million DPS will make everything in the game super trivial. Anyway, yeah, probably just gonna get to 100, might mess around and try some of the Ubers, and then, yeah, let me know if you guys want me to start the Fismus League early if you plan on playing. I've got some ideas to try to make it a little bit more interesting. I kind of want to push, like, utilization of like my Discord a little bit more for the private league, and have like people assigned to like roles and groups and stuff, so it can be more organized, and everyone can like distribution of gear and stuff can be a little bit more accessible and friendly towards people, so it's not people just like randomly using general chat to like announce they're getting gear. And yeah, it just, it should be a lot more organized. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's going to be it for this video. I think there's not really a whole lot to go over here. I mean, the characters, you know, there were some decent upgrades made, but that's basically it. I did, obviously, as you can tell, get the melding set up. I guess I didn't really touch on it too much, but I talked about it like, you know, like it was already a thing. But yeah, I got the melding set up. So got the melding and the shield all squared away. But other than that, there haven't been a ton of upgrades. I got the jewel, and then like there have been changes to the passive tree, as well as like leveling up, and rings have been squared away and stuff like that. So there were upgrades, but you know, nothing like super crazy, super game changing. But yeah, there's still room to upgrade the character for sure. But at this point, I'm just kind of using him to like farm bosses ad nauseum. Once he finally hits 100, I may do some uber bosses just for fun, and then probably kill this character, because without Aegis, it feels pretty impossible. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys liked the video, leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a thumbs down to me what you think I can do better. And if you're enjoying the content, leave me a sub. And then, as I said at the beginning of the video, notification bell, hit the ringy button. You know, Twitch, Discord, Twitter links. Current character PoE will be down in the description below. And I have another build diary coming out tonight or tomorrow morning, based on time zone. And that is going to be going over a Slam character playing EQ with the new Echoes of Creation helmet. So look forward to that. Anyway, see you guys. Have a good one. Stay safe.